Cassandra from Microsoft. My background, I look after Synnex as an alliance with Microsoft. And prior to this role, I've only been in role kind of a couple of months now, but prior to this role, I was an account executive for small, medium, corporate within Microsoft, which gave me some really great insight into, the challenges that our customers are facing, where they're at in their digital transformation and what they're looking to gain. And those kinds of conversations can be quite raw, because if you're not hitting their bottom line, as you would know, they're not interested in talking. So I'm going to kick off with a video, which is always nice to do.
Our mission is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. Technology can shape growth. Help us be more agile. We can use technology to change, disrupt the landscape of the industries that we participate in. Building technology so that others can build technology and make things happen. Our success is not dependent on our products. It's dependent on the success that our customers, our partners have with our products. It's really not about our ambitions, but it's the application of our ambitions so that we can deliver digital transformation. I want you to envision what difference can you make to shape the world.
So a bunch of cool ideas in there. This one actually for a boarding pass that I could have used this morning. I did the old screenshot of the boarding pass, just in case. So there was like a digital boarding pass, which was pretty cool. So I'm sure you've seen this slide before, but I really like it because it really adds context to where we're headed today. Starting with steam, moving into electricity, building on that with electronics and IT, and now we're absolutely in this fourth revolution in terms of digital, and focused on data and really trying to leverage all of the things before us to pull together more information about our businesses, our operations, how we're driving forward, and how we're competing within each and every market depending on the industry that you might be focused on. So I want to kick off here with some of the trends that we've pulled together that we're seeing, and I thought we'd do this a little bit differently, and we might play a game of heads and tails. Is everyone okay with that? You seem like a very serious bunch. I'm regretting it now. But I do have a giveaway. Sorry. So I've got a few of these beautiful soft shells with Windows 10 on there and a little bit of Microsoft branding, which is subtle and not evasive like some of our giveaways. So I'll get everyone to stand up, please, if you're with me. If you don't want to play, you can be boring, you can sit down. That's it. Oh, thank you for your support. Thank you. All right, so we're going to go through some trends, and we're going to do some trues and falses to begin with. If you think the answer is true, on your heads. If you think it's false, on your tails, right? And I'm asking for everyone to keep an eye on all of the dodgy people in the room, right? Yeah, everyone's the police. Okay, cool, here we go. Okay, so, true or false, although cybersecurity risks are on the rise, the impact is largely felt less than 50% of SMBs being targeted for cyber attacks. True or false? Okay. It's more, so false. So if you weren't correct, please sit down. Thank you, Chris, for being honest. I did see that. No. But we will play games, that's right. Okay, true or false? Embracing remote working reduces employee churn by 50%. Yeah, that's good. That was a bit of an easy one. 50%. Correct. All right. True or false? Greater than 50% of SMBs are investigating building an AI strategy. Oh, that's true. 59%. Yeah. Oh, none of you have any faith in our customers.
Hey, what is this?
I think the key. Well, there you go. That's the source right there.
2006.
Look, I think the key.
Would have gone down.
So I think the key with this one is investigating. They mightn't necessarily be moving on it, but they are investigating. They do want to understand it, so that's important. All right. Okay, so these stats are more about employee retention. So true or false, the majority of workers say that their employer doesn't give them access to the latest technology to do their job effectively. The majority. Got a false over there, all right. It's true. The majority do say, 75% say that they don't get what they need. True or false? True or false, 20% of employees say they would I've written it wrong here. Quit. 20% would say that they would quit their jobs over poor workplace technology. Who says 20%? Make a decision, Ello. 20%. That's false. It's actually 40%. 40%! I mean, actually, I know that for fact for myself. I took this role with Microsoft. I had 2 job offers on the table. It was many years ago. Another one was for a company that obviously didn't have the technology that Microsoft had. And I chose Microsoft because of access to technology. So it really, I mean, this is particularly true for me. All right, this one's higher or lower. So if it's higher heads, lower tails. The productivity and profitability gains with engaged employees is higher or lower than 20%? Okay, well that was easy. It is higher. Geez, all right. I've got one more slide of these. Who wants to play again? Because I've got a few jackets to give away, and I've got some good sizes. So, are you all Marketo people though?
Yeah, I am. They're working together.
All right. This is growth or decline. Growth, decline, right? Last year, sell-through of commercial PCs was in growth or decline? Commercial PCs, growth or decline? It was in growth. You have no faith. Plus 3%. Listen, I have a couple of jackets, so the 4 of you can all... So let's keep going for last man standing, right? And come see me at lunchtime. I've got a bunch of different sizes, so we'll get the right one for you. Okay, the market for modern device form factors, which is 2-in-1, slim, touch, etc., is growing by more than 18% heads or less than 18% tails? That's a trick question, it was 18%. You must stay standing. All right, last one. And this is probably the one that I care about the most because I think it's where the real crux of the opportunity is. So higher or lower? The device refresh cycle for SMB is higher or lower than 6 years? Higher or lower? 6 years. So the amount of time, yeah? Okay, we're all over it. You think it's lower than 6 years? Well, you're both wrong. No jackets for anyone. No, it's 6.3 years for SMBs. It's a lot, yeah. These SMBs taking a long time to change over their devices. So. Okay, so I mean, you know, there's some really obvious transitions here where we're seeing modern workplace move from a single device to a multi-device. We're seeing, a lot of manual work move to automatic work. Even high touch versus self-service. So IT, the function of IT, which I know you've heard from conference to conference, is changing, and we really need to make sure that we're changing with it. When we think about, the security perimeter and how that's changed, it was where everything was on-prem, everything was well within our control, identity, devices, apps, data, it was all in this nice little bubble. And now where we're moving to is that users are just downloading what they need. They will use Dropbox if they need it. They will use, Google if they need it. They will use whatever they need to get their job done. So if we're not keeping up, we're putting the business at risk. So it's really a changing environment. And so there's this real kind of balance between, enabling productivity and enabling our employees to really do what they need to do, to share documents, to extract data, to kind of build presentations and that sort of thing, as well as keeping that really, really critical company's information safe and secure. And it used to be, I think it really used to be one or the other, but I'm here today to kind of preach that it can be both, and we really can kind of tick both of those boxes. Okay, so we talked about the trends, let's talk about the opportunity. So, back to trends. Well, not really, but I've called out a few here that we've already talked about, but 3% growth in commercial PCs, that's an absolute opportunity for us. The highest ever satisfaction rating for Windows 10, or for any Windows product, that is actually the case. 25% of companies deploying Windows 10 are doing so on new devices. So there's a really good opportunity here for us to be driving new devices as part of this digital transformation, right? Even, the 18% of year-on-year modern device form factor shift. So people really wanting to work outside of the office, they need a device that's portable, they need a device that, you could potentially put a SIM in, that's touch, that's, you can take notes in so you're not doubling up your work, all of these things. This is the opportunity for us to really shift that. Then you couple that with Windows 7 being 10 years old. Jacket for someone that can tell me the end of support date.
February next year, 2020.
Wrong. I'm looking for the exact date. The exact date. Yes.
14th of January.
What year?
2020.
That was a bit obvious. I know, but you've got to complete the question. Well done. It was 14th of January. There you go, 2020. And actually, when we do a bit of research, 55% of SMBs were slightly aware of this, but less than 30% of SMBs had a plan to do anything about it. And we are less than 9 months out, I think. So, they don't even, there's 45% of SMBs that don't even know about it. That for me is quite shocking. I think of my husband's business. He knows about it. He definitely doesn't. He falls in the second bracket. He doesn't have a plan for it. Can't get any good IT support anywhere. Can you? Not even from your wife. So huge opportunity to start talking to customers about what is your plan? What are you going to do about Windows 7 end of support? How are you going to protect your business? Because there's all sorts of compliance and security risks that come with that. So I actually now want to kind of talk through those security risks and the actual dollar value implication that would be felt by an SMB. So 43%, I'm really going with the stats I just realised in this deck, but that's all right. 43% of businesses with fewer than 100 employees are victims to cybercrime, so we kind of talked about that before. But this is saying that the average breach is $410,000. That would cripple any small business. That would put them straight into administration, as far as I see it. So, it's sort of a simple fix for such a huge risk, just to really kind of roll out some new devices and, of course, Windows 10. I would absolutely recommend that you start having a chat to the team at Synnex. They have the model set up for you to leverage. They have the capabilities to start driving that, and I know that Michael's going to talk more about that later on. So thank you very much.